Still, we could always use more raw power. And Earth has a third Green Lantern, Guy Gardner.
No.
But we could really...
No.
Well, forgot to turn my mic on. Welcome back to Girl at the Con. We are going to be talking about WonderCon 2022 because I do have backlog and I wanted to get this one out. It's kind of old, but WonderCon is coming up, so hopefully you'll find it interesting or useful. If you don't know what WonderCon is, it is Comic-Con's little sister. It started off in San Francisco, and I believe 2008, 2009 area, maybe a little bit before that. Comic-Con bought it from its original owners, and a couple years later they moved it down to Anaheim, where it has grown much larger. It's still very comic book oriented. There's some movie stuff and TV because it is Comic-Con, but it isn't quite what Comic-Con is. It's still fairly small, which is a very nice, good starter convention for like larger cons. So if you want to go to Comic-Con but you're unsure, go to WonderCon and get it kind of going there. So this is one of those conventions that I go out of town for. It's one of the very few that I go out of town and stay for a couple of days for. I pack, which is difficult when you have cats, as you can see here. And then I, of course, have my big suitcase. Well, not suitcase, big duffel bag that I will be bringing with me. The cat will not be coming with me. Thank you, Sierra. Yes. Getting ready to pack for WonderCon and just going over a couple of the things that I typically pack. So I am only going up for 3 days, 2 nights. So I should only technically need 2 socks, maybe 3, given the fact that I will already be wearing a pair. But I always like to bring extra because I'm just like that. In case something happens, I step in a puddle and I need clean socks or something like that. So 4 socks in there. My underwear is already in there, but I do the same thing with my underwear. I always bring an extra set or 2 just in case. My bra. So, and then I of course am going to be bringing clothes. So we have a pair of my night pants with the pretty stars on them. So my theme is Hawkeye, so I'm going with purples and blacks. So we get that in there. And then California weather's been really weird lately. And one day it will be like 60 and the next day it will be like 80. So not knowing that is, and filming this a couple days before, I've laid out some stuff that I'm going to be possibly bringing with me, such as my Hawkeye I Never Miss tank top, my Hawkeye Minimalist tank top, but then I also have my Hawkeye Minimalist t-shirt, my Hawkeye Endgame t-shirt, and that should get me through. I'm also going to be bringing a sweatshirt, which I don't have in here because I'll be wearing it up on the day that I go to WonderCon. But I'm more than likely going to pack the tank tops and the t-shirts. And we'll just kind of have to like play it by ear. I may repack like the day before just to make sure I have everything. Or in case I find the weather is going funky and I need to bring more warmer clothing. Also going to be bringing a pair of jeans. I was debating on bringing like a pair of black shorts with me, but I don't think that it's going to be nearly warm enough for me to be inside a convention center with those. So, and then these are some of the other like odds and ends that I typically bring. So, I've got my tiki room wallet, which has got a place for a couple of cards. Most likely, WonderCon and a lot of cons for the next year or so should be going completely cashless. They should be going for cards. So I want something like this. And something small that can fit in a small case. Deodorant is always very, very important. I will use whatever soaps that the hotel has, but bring deodorant. I have allergies, so always bring tissues just in case. And so I also bring these because soda is expensive. So I just have to buy like a bottle or bring a bottle of water with me. So these are little to-goes in my Olaf bag. And you just add them to water, shake, and it flavors the water up. So I'm going to be bringing those. Sweetie, yes, your presence is noted. I don't foresee this being an issue, but I always bring extra pads, because if not me, somebody else. So, my Hawkeye sunglasses. Sweetie, no, I mean it. So, and I will be doing a lot of filming, so my battery charger and a spare battery. Then this is a super duper heavy, huge brick for charging phones and just about everything. Never know if I'm going to need that. This has like my external hard drive, stuff like that, power cables. Always bring extra power cables because you never know what's going to happen with these power cables. It's going to really suck if you're there with your phone and like the cable dies at the convention, so just always bring a couple of extra. Sweetie, not right now. Thank you. So, and then I always bring extra bags. I like printed ones if you can find them. They don't sell them as much anymore, which is really sad. But I always bring these just in case I have like an accident with the socks and I don't want to put the socks in with everything else. I can just put them in the bag. My makeup. If you're not a man, then probably like your shaving kit or whatever, but the idea is like your sundry items and stuff like that. My handy dandy laptop so that I can film while I'm up there and edit. And then my camera with my camera case and everything in it. There's probably some more stuff that I'm going to be bringing, and I will update the video as needed. But these are like the most essential things that I always need to make sure that I have. Most everything else, if I don't have it, I can go a couple of days without it. It will be fine. If you're on any sort of maintenance meds, you really got to make sure that you pack that stuff, which I'll probably be using one of those frozen bags for, just because I need to make sure I bring my meds with me, but I don't want to bring the big old So, I don't recommend bringing the kitty, but definitely lay out everything that you need, make sure that it gets packed and goes into what you need to bring. And this picture is what it looks like when two camera people pack for a convention. There's a lot of luggage. It may not seem like a lot, but for two people for 3 days, 2 nights, that's a lot of stuff. So I always take the railroad when I go up to Anaheim. I always book with Amtrak. Take the train when I can't. I always book business class. I like business class because they give you a meal, they give you a drink. Maybe not a meal, they give you like a snack box. Sometimes they give you like breakfast, but it's like Danishes and stuff like that. And you can just watch the world pass by on your way up there, or you can take a nap, do work. It's just a good way to travel. And you get a guaranteed seat in business class. Put a pin in that. We'll be coming back to it. We got up there. We booked into the hotel. Now, I had booked this motel, about a week before the convention, because I didn't know until like a week before the convention that I was for sure going to be going to the convention or whatever. So I booked it kind of late, which I do not recommend. Try and book your hotels as early as possible so that you don't end up at this motel. It was clean. It wasn't great though. And Saturday night, the people in the room next to us were doing some adult wrestling all night long, very loudly. So sleep wasn't really something that we were getting much of, my roommate and I. My friend went up with me, not my actual roommate, but my friend went up with me, and she and I did not get any sleep that night because these people were so unbelievably loud. But once we had our hotels settled, we walked over to the convention center, picked up our badges, and started to wander around. I wandered around inside. I saw a lot of really cool stuff there. The vendors hall / exhibit hall for WonderCon is just really awesome. There's a lot of small press type people. There's a lot of independent press, a lot of Artist Alley people, as well as some big people. I did meet this one guy. He was super awesome. It was really not off the wall, but I thought he was cool. He did this piece of artwork here, which I super like. It's Satan with two great big guns, which I just thought was kind of amusing. So I bought it from him. I doubt you'll ever see him at WonderCon again because he got no love. Matter of fact, he told me that people were kind of mean to him, and I was the only person that had been really nice to him the entire convention. Even if you don't like the artwork that somebody's doing, there's no need to throw shade at them. There's no need to sneer or say something. It's just not your artwork. He didn't make a lot of money. I think I was one of only a couple sales that he had. But he was a nice guy. There are large sellers, such as Funko Pop, which you can see here. I love Funko. It's a lot of fun. I kind of wish I'd been able to take these guys home, but I honestly don't know where I would have put them. My room is already so very crowded with stuff I brought home from conventions. I went to this panel, which you can see here, that for the life of me, I do not know what it was about. I think they're voice actors because they had like a standee in front of them, and none of them looked. It was a standee of Mantis from the movies, but none of them looked like that actress. So it's got to be voice acting. I don't do a lot of panels. I'm trying to do more. But I think that was the only panel other than my panel that I did. This camera that I'm currently filming on, I had just got it right before the convention. So I was sort of testing it out, figuring it out, and adjusting settings. So I was taking a lot of pictures and a lot of video, and mostly of cosplay, because that's something I'm really into. I could do a whole other video on all of the cosplay pictures and video that I shot at WonderCon. It was so much. I think more so than Comic-Con, WonderCon is Cosplay Central because it's got such a great space that's right there at the front of the convention center. As you come up the drive between the two hotels, the Hilton and the Marriott, there is a giant walkway, which they usually fill with food trucks don't have any pictures of that for this convention, but it's usually there. And then there's a giant fountain, and then like a plaza area. And just tons of cosplayers go out there to get their pictures taken and to meet people and to hang out. Anytime you see something online that is like Marvel cosplay photo shoot at WonderCon, it's always done at that fountain. So it's really cool. I did that most of Friday and Saturday. There was a lot of Hawkeye cosplayers, which I love. Hawkeye was definitely my theme. This is 2022, so like at the end of 2021 is when the Hawkeye TV show would come out. So there was a lot of Hawkeye cosplayers out and about from that TV show. So that made me happy. I got a lot of Hawkeye people. I met a lot. I'm friends with a bunch of these people on Instagram, so I'll have all of their Instagram stuff listed below if I can remember everybody. Saturday night, we went over to the Masquerade. I have a friend who works for the Masquerade, so we got VIP tickets and we were able to sit up front. That is, again, another, I can make a whole other video, and I probably will, on just the Masquerade from that, from WonderCon. It's a lot of really good people, a lot of really funny skits. It doesn't fall under typical cosplay rules that you find for the bigger, more prestigious sort of conventions. I'll talk about that in a different video at some point. But it's got a lot of people, you know, they make their costumes, they go on stage, they do a skit. There was a Bridgerton one that I remember because everybody was asking me if I got the footage for it. But it was Bridgerton Disney princesses. It was really cute. Or went back to the hotel and didn't sleep. Next morning, we packed up all of our shit, checked out, and stowed it. Most conventions, not all, most bigger conventions that are like a 2 or 3 day whatever will usually have a bag check. So we got there very early, shoved all of our stuff at bag check for a couple of hours, and went off and did more stuff. Now, my friend Ellie, who I go with to a lot of conventions, and you've heard me talk about her, she was at a different hotel with her friends, and her group did not leave the convention on time. They got distracted doing something, buying something, whatever. They didn't leave on time. My roommate, my con roommate, and I, we had like a plan. We went into that day, we were like, we are meeting at bag check at this time. We're going to pick up our stuff. We're going to go over here and get our Uber over to the train station. Like, we had a plan. We hit it like dead on. And we were still super early for the train. By like, I think half an hour, 40 minutes. Like, we were there a while. But Ellie and her group, they normally can take the metro up and down, no problem. We, however, have to take the train because the metro doesn't go that far. So anyway, they missed the metro and had to take the train. But business class was sold out, and so they just had to buy a regular ticket. That, I don't have footage of it, sadly, because I was in a different train car than they were. It was packed. I mean packed. Even our car was packed. There were seats for us, and I think we got food and we got drinks, but it was just completely crowded. Everybody and their brother was on this train. My friends, Ellie and her group, they had to stand for 2 hours with their luggage, because even the luggage racks were crammed, on their way to where they would get off. That has definitely taught me, along with the motel that I got, that
what you need to do is try to do everything as far in advance as you possibly can. I know as far as their train ride, they couldn't help that. They could have planned it maybe and stuck to the plan and been like, hey, whoever misses the Uber to the train station has to figure out their own shit. But, who knows? Like, I wasn't a part of her group. I don't know what her group's deal was. When it comes to everything else, I highly recommend booking early. That was WonderCon 2022. Always a lot of fun. Highly recommend. So I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It means a lot to me if you would do all of these things. I also have a Kofi, which I keep forgetting to mention, of which I will have a link for that. You don't have to donate any money. You don't have to tip me if you don't want to. It's not a big deal. But if you do want to tip me so that I can go out to either Dragon Con or Holiday Matsuri, or the two, conventions on the other side of the country that I would really like to go to, yeah, you can pop money in there. I'm saving up for those. And yeah, but we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.
You done playing? You sure you don't want to do some more?